All right, just like I told you, 2 hours later, and it's the second Hell House. I'm going to do the first two back to back, and 3 and 4 back to back, and then the fifth one on a Tuesday. So, like I said, all this should be out on a Wednesday. I want to say the 27th, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I was surprised with the first one. I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was. It was a pleasantly shocking surprise. The second one, I want to say, came out 2-3 years later. Does it hold up? And is it as good as the first one? Let's find out. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Hell House LLC Sue, the Abaddon Hotel. So yes, this is a sequel 3 years after the first one. We're going back to the hotel because we have one survivor from the original movie 3 years ago, and we're bringing a psychic as well as some other people that are investigative journalists, and they want to know where this hotel came from, and they truly think in the basement downstairs there's going to be a lot of evidence to prove where some of these people went. So, is it as good as the first one? No. I understand how some people might not like this one because it's kind of a rehashing of the first one with kind of the same story. Not really, but you're following now the aftermath of what people are truly thinking is going to occur. And while some people I heard are panning this one, it does not deserve the panning because there is still some damn good oh shit creepy moments where you're like, this works, but there's also some stupid character decisions as well in this one. But hey, positives. The first 15-20 minutes, okay? Because the first 15-20 minutes is about, kind of doing this quasi interview, but with other people going into Abaddon Hotel of people that are daring, Jackson, and other people. And while some of the storylines, especially the Jackson one, isn't really explained about the piano and what he is saying and how there's a connection to him, understandable. But when all of that person, the guy's doing the dare, and this guy just completely staring at a staircase for an X amount of time, that shit creepy. That works tenfold, especially the staircase one. I don't know what was about it, but when you watch it, you're like, what's about to happen? What's about to happen? And that tension builds up, and it builds up. Even though you might not like the payoff, you appreciate the tension that leads to what the conclusion is for that. So the first 15-20 minutes, I was entertained. I was like, let's get this started. But I wouldn't say the scare factors wear off, because there are some pretty damn good ones, especially the psychic in the living room. There was some good shit there. Good shit with some clowns and just movements as well with mannequins. You cannot not deny there was shit in this movie that does go, okay, that was good, that was creepy. But I can't understand where some people are like, yeah, it's a kind of a rehash in the first one, which I could see and not see. And the reason I say that is because, yes, it's a found footage movie going through the hotel again. However, the hotel does look different with different mannequins looking at different spots. And you do get a little bit of a lore of the story. And I think that's where it kind of falters, in my opinion, which is kind of funny. I'll just tell you right now, I have a movie that I'm writing a script for. It's about the lobotomy and how there is a spirit that is kind of stuck in this Italian hospital because they're the first person being experimented on, and what this person wants to do is kill a bloodline. And there is some plot holes, guilty as charged, in this script that I just can't figure out. And the funny thing is, this movie kind of has those plot holes where it's like a spirit moving that's been around forever, but they can go around and be in different people's lives, but then transform and not really transform, but can, kind of like The Shining, right? Where it's like it could stay the same person over and over again, and no one seems to realize how this person's been alive for 50, 70, 100 years kind of thing, which that is a huge plot hole, especially who this Tully is. And Tully, if you didn't watch either one of them, is the one that did the suicide cult to open the gates of hell. So the ending is kind of ambiguous, as well as okay, come on. Because there's also one character that you're like, where are you going to go? Are you stuck or are you going? Which maybe I'll figure out in the third and fourth one after I watch this one, or after, the next day because I'm taking a break. But the aesthetics still works, and I think that's where it kind of succeeds in this one. The aesthetics are better. The production design is better because it is the aftermath, and it just gives that creepy factor of what did occur in that house with the blood, and just knowing what happened in the first movie. You do get that angst in this movie. The acting is not bad in this one. You get less character involvement because this one does travel back and forth between this interview in this TV station as well as what's in the hotel, while the first one is truly like a 5-character study of what is happening to some of these people. So you kind of just get the cookie cutter version of the characters in this one, and I do think it tries too hard, especially with the very end with one of the girls at a police station. You're like, okay, I see what you did there, but come on now. But yeah, that's really it for this one. These are going to be kind of shorter reviews. But again, I'm a found footage freak. I really enjoy it. And another script I'm writing about found footage is called kind of like The Book Club. And what it is a book, like I'm reading a book called The Cold Vanish. And it's a book about just people disappearing in the woods. Michigan, Oregon, Alaska, etc. And this found footage movie is about to be like 8 people that are traveling to these woods to try to find these missing people, because it's like, people are just addicted to this book and they really want to like solve a murder mystery, but they start disappearing one by one as well, and we got to figure out why they're disappearing. And so I have that idea as well, and I'm slowly writing it, and I'm starting to get good plot points, but I'm just trying to tell you guys that I love found footage films, so this is kind of a thing where I'm probably a little bit softer or nicer to movies like this. I'm admit guilty as charged, but overall, Hell House LLC 2, the Abaddon Hotel, Abaddon, I always say stuff wrong. I'm an idiot. I'm guilty as charged. Creeps, still pretty much there. Some character choices are literally more cookie cutter than the first one. You don't get to know him as much as you want. And there is a big plot hole about Tully, who he is, how he does what he does, and just doesn't really explain a lot at the end of the day. But I still would recommend this one if you want to watch all of them back to back to back. So Hell House LLC 2, the Abaddon Hotel, will receive a 3 out of 5 with Futons, which equals that 60%. Which the critics' news scores gave this one. Critics, there's dose of them, and there's a negative and a negative. The positives are not there. There's a couple positives for the audience score, but overall a 34% with the tomato meter. So we got since there's not more than 4, I really will say no critics scores that have an exact percentage, and that 34 from the audience score. Chase Hockey with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of these Futontopia. You Blue Futons, thank you for watching. A great day. I'm going to stay tomorrow, week from a month, year from now. Every single freak one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And did you like this one? Let me know down below.